Good morning. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Shields and Arrows. I apologize for the delayed start. We had a brief technological issue, but then I realized what the problem was, and it was my fault. But now we're here, and we're going to talk about Fall Street 2025 and their theme and their objective and all the problems with it. We're also going to briefly touch on a matter surrounding some controversy with Anglican theologian N.T. Wright and his comments on abortion. I'm going to explain why I'm not going to jump into it, even though a lot of commentators are, and I understand the temptation to do so, but I'll explain myself, okay? And then also, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about current culture with the most popular, most watched TV shows of 2024, 2025. And so that'll give us maybe an interesting insight to what some people are thinking, what the general public is interested in. So I am glad that you are with us. Thank you for enduring, long-suffering with us as we are working through our technology issues. And hopefully everything holds out. It's cloudy, kind of rainy today, but maybe Starlink, Elon Musk, now that he's not spending all of his days at the White House and can focus on making sure the Shields and Arrows broadcast goes through clearly, we will be in good shape. All right, so first and foremost, let's go ahead and talk about this interesting controversy surrounding N.T. Wright. I have a friend who has appreciation for N.T. Wright, and he's my friend's not a right divider, but he is a man who studies. He is trying to study to show himself approved, and I hope that eventually he can become a right divider. It's just tough, whenever the entire evangelical industrial complex is pushing you in one direction. But he is an N.T. Wright fan, and I sent him a message yesterday, and I said, I am not going to dunk on N.T. Wright. Now, some may wish I would, okay, but I'm going to try to articulate my reason why. I'm not saying that people are wrong for jumping on the wagon of being critical of N.T. Wright, but I'm going to give my reason, okay? So here is the controversy. This is from the Christian Post. Is it okay to kill unborn babies with deformities? N.T. Wright weighs in. N.T. Wright, of course, is an Anglican theologian. He's well known in circles, and he's a very well-spoken man. Of course, he has that British accent, which for some reason just makes you sound smarter. And he does his Ask N.T. Wright Anything kind of question and answer show. And depends on how long it is. They're not always an hour long. Sometimes it's shorter than that, but he'll answer questions. And in an episode recently, published Sunday, N.T. Wright responded to a question asking, why should Christians defend life from the moment of conception? And why should Christians oppose abortion and stand up for the protection of unborn life? And the viewer who submitted the question, according to the Christian Post, also brought up difficult ethical questions such as what about cases where the pregnancy is a result of rape, or cases where a decision has to be made whether the mother or the unborn child should be saved. And Wright responded, and his answer was unsatisfying to the pro-life people. And he began by discussing a case of exposure to rubella, also known, German measles is another term for it. A woman exposed to rubella during her pregnancy, and it can result in deformities in the womb. And this woman's doctor that N.T. Wright was explaining recommended the woman terminate the pregnancy, and Wright suggested that this move would have been justified. So he took a position that a lot of pro-lifers would absolutely reject, that you do not end the life of a child just because there's risk of deformities, right? Or even risks with complications. Not that there's known complications, but you don't end the life of a child for just because there's a chance. There's a chance of a deformity, there's a chance of a problem, right? You battle for the sake of the children. And I do have some personal experience here. Being the father of triplets, that's considered a high-risk pregnancy. And you had to decide, okay, do you eliminate some of your children to reduce the risk? or do you fight for all of your children? And we chose that we're going to fight for all of them because they're all of equal value. And so we now have 3 babies, and they're a great blessing to me. So long story short, Wright showed some willingness to justify abortions in the case of deformities, risk to mother, and rape and incest, things like that. Not what we would call a strong pro-life position. And right now, there's a lot of people jumping all over N.T. Wright. Matt Walsh is one, and I like Matt Walsh. Let me say something that may not please everyone. Now, you know me, I'm pro-life. I've defended the pro-life position. The guy is British, and being in Britain, he may not be on the forefront of this issue, okay? The pro-life debate seems to be much stronger in America, and I have listened to N.T. Wright answer questions before, okay? And the areas that he feels confidence in, even though I don't agree with his theological conclusions, he does speak with confidence a lot of times, okay? He has, that British gravitas to him. I don't know what term you would use. Anyways, when he tried to answer the question on abortion, he did not sound like his normal articulate self, I don't think. I think that you could see he was not comfortable with it. It wasn't a question that he was prepared for. And so here's what I'm going to say. People who do listen to N.T. Wright to a degree, let me extend some grace for your sake, all right? I'm going to give him some time. Let's give him some time to see if he wants to adjust his position. Because I can tell he has not seemed to have thought it through, okay? So as tempting as it would be to use it as an opportunity to dunk on N.T. Wright, I am going to say this is very, very recent. It was posted Sunday. It's Wednesday today. Give the man some time. We'll see if he eventually comes to a proper pro-life position. And I think a lot of times in the news, it's very tempting to immediately raise a ruckus when you're given the opportunity. And maybe I'm going to give this a little bit of time to set. And maybe N.T. Wright's going to get the opportunity to see how many people who listen to him receive his take and his position. So we're not going to go there today. I'm not going to rant and rave. I'm rather going to say I was disappointed in his reasoning, and I'm hoping that maybe in time he will become more pro-life on the issue. Because like I said, you could tell by the way that you can go watch the video, it's on his YouTube page. The way he answered the question, you could tell this is not a subject area that he has spent a great deal of time thinking about. I don't think, okay? I'm gonna leave it there. There's other things I could say. There was another segment of the video that I thought that I did not like, but I'm gonna leave it there. Let's give him some time. Followers of N.T. Wright, I would say, try to reach out to him. I don't know if he's a big name. So, but let him know. If you are a conservative pro-life person who has listened to N.T. Wright, let him know where a lot of believers are on the issue. Okay, because maybe being in Britain, he's in a bubble that doesn't understand the weight of the issue, okay? So there you go. That's my thoughts for the day. Instead of taking the opportunity to kick the dead horse like everybody else is, I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, now, I know you want to get to Falls Creek, okay? I know you're excited to hear me rant and rave all about the issues of Falls Creek, but I'm going to keep you waiting, okay? I'm going to leave you hanging on the hook for a little bit longer. Because we need to talk about the top TV shows in our country, or maybe even worldwide, okay? And I think it's very interesting. So bear with me. Let's jump into it, okay? So this is from TV Insider. Top 100 most watched shows of 2024-2025, okay? So I'm not a big TV show watcher. Sometimes my wife can get me to watch some TV shows with her. I just don't watch a lot of TV, okay? And that doesn't mean I don't watch things. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and things like that. But with that, here is the list, all right? So, looking at the top shows. Squid Game, number 1, Netflix. Squid Game is I believe it's a South Korean TV show, kind of like survival, basically. Everybody's trying to win money, and it's all, stuff that you can be killed. It's games that are life and death, right? So that was number 1. Adolescence, we talked about that one. Basically, this hypothetical situation in which, this boy is radicalized online and kills a girl, and anyways, it did decently well on Netflix once again. Tracker, CBS, I don't know that show. Reacher, I do know about that show. Reacher is a pretty, just kind of an older school style show, like where it's a big, strong, tough guy fighting bad guys, basically, okay? He's smart, he's capable. It's a much more, like, I could see more conservative type people liking Reacher, okay? Number 4, High Potential, ABC, I don't know that one. Matlock, is that like Andy Griffith Matlock? CBS, 16 million, or is there a new Matlock? Somebody tell me, I don't know. Landman, Paramount Plus, I don't know anything about Landman. I have seen some viral clips from it though, like mocking the Green New Deal, basically. Getting away from carbon. The jacket you're wearing, lady, is made from petroleum. What are you talking about? Okay, we're not getting rid of oil, natural gas. I don't know these. I'll say something when I recognize a name here. Yellowstone, obviously heard of that one. Yellowstone went woke there towards the end, I think. I think that maybe it started out kind of interesting and then went south from what people tell me. 1923, I think that's a spinoff of Yellowstone. Miss Rachel, that's like a kid's show. Unfortunately, Miss Rachel went woke too, because everybody does. I've heard somebody say something about Mobland. I haven't watched any of these things, but sounds like people like it anyways. NCIS, CBS, FBI. NCIS was a really popular show back in the day, and I guess it's still doing okay. It's crazy because it's been going on for, I don't know, nearly 15 years? I have no idea how long NCIS has been going. Blue Bloods, that's a Tom Selleck TV show. I haven't seen much of it. My grandpa watched it some. Okay, now here's what I wanted to show you, okay? We've been going through and looking at all these TV shows, okay? We are now at 45. Look at the highest performing Disney show. It wasn't in the top 5. It wasn't in the top 10. It wasn't in the top 20 or top 30 or top 40. 45 is this show Agatha All Along. I think it's tied to all the superhero Marvel stuff that Disney does. Disney is not doing well on its TV shows. Disney's streaming platform is not doing well. Netflix, Amazon, and then just regular TV, CBS, NBC, these are all outperforming Disney. ABC, Abbott Elementary, I don't know anything about that, but ABC is owned by Disney. Paradise, which is also a Disney thing. I don't know. Then you got a whole bunch of, Netflix, CBS, Hulu. There's another like Disney-related thing. And then, but let's see, how far down do we have to go to get to the next actual Disney Plus TV show? Going further. Okay, I think this is the next one for Disney Plus, or Disney Plus. I kind of inflected that funny. Disney Plus, Star Wars Skeleton Crew, 84. A Star Wars TV show. I mean, Star Wars used to be a major brand, and it can't crack the top 70, top 80. Dream Productions is another Disney thing. Win or Lose, Disney. Daredevil, another one of those superhero things. Disney Plus, that's theirs. I mean, Disney, for the juggernaut that it is, and it still is a juggernaut. They own massive parks. They have cruise ships. Lilo and Stitch is a movie that they recently released. It's on track to make $1 billion. So with that, Disney, the streaming service is crashing, okay? I keep telling everybody, okay? I've got family members who have Disney Plus, and they use it for Bluey and access to older stuff. You've got to buy the DVDs. It's a one-time purchase. Buy the DVDs, and then you have it forever, as long as the DVD lasts, okay? And if you don't let your toddlers get their gross little, fingers all over it, they should last. Buy the DVDs, cancel Disney Plus. Disney is not in a good place. There was I was watching a show talking about a YouTube video. Disney's laid off some 7,000 employees. They're not in a good way. And if a juggernaut like Disney can be in trouble like it is now, there is still hope for us to actually have an impact. Because Disney has done it to themselves. They've done it through their woke messaging. They've done it through their poor quality. They've done it through turning their back on conservatives, starting fights with Ron DeSantis and things like that. So I think this is a good thing. Disney, for the years that it did good, it has done a whole lot of bad. It needs to be greatly reduced, if not completely die out altogether, okay? And maybe something better will take its place. So I know that seems like kind of a niche thing or something that's not very significant. Why are we worried about top TV shows, especially when I'm not really watching them, and I don't know how many of you spend time watching them. But it does show you there is a shift. Disney is not what it once was. And think about a lot of those TV shows that are up on top. TV shows like Reacher that portray masculinity, all right? Not saying it's conservative necessarily, not saying that it is, wholesome family entertainment. I think it's got a lot of violence and language and things like that. But at least it's not the woke, progressive messaging that is coming from Disney. If Disney had its shows at the top, top 5, we would be in a lot of trouble. But that tells you something about a shift in what Americans want. And money does talk to a degree. And like we said, Disney has deep pockets. Disney World probably funds a lot of their projects. The marketing, there's a lot of stuff going on that's going to help Disney stay afloat. I don't think Disney's going to go away in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. But they are shrinking, which is good. Their influence needs to be taken away. All right. Now, what you are all wanting to talk about, I know you've been on the edge of your seat to dive into, discuss Falls Creek 2025. Now, Falls Creek is one of the biggest SBC camps events that there is. It may be the biggest one. And it also so happens to be an hour and 45 minutes that way from me. I have been to Falls Creek when I was in college, both as a college student and also when I was a youth pastor. Man, they use that term very loosely. I don't think that I was qualified to be any kind of pastor, but I was the youth minister, whatever term you want to use. And we went to Falls Creek. So I've talked about Falls Creek before. I've ranted about Falls Creek before. So what I'm going to do this time is let's just see what's going on this year, this summer of 2025 for Falls Creek. Summer camps are gearing up. This is from the Baptist Messenger. Summer is right around the corner. Along with it, the Falls Creek and Cross Timber summer camps. This year's camps are set both to inspire campers in their walk with God, as well as encourage them to share the love of Christ with others. Here is some more information on the upcoming summer camps. So let's see, Falls Creek is the older kids stuff. Also, they'll do some like college-age kids stuff too, and Cross Timbers is the younger kids stuff. All right? So Falls Creek Youth Camp is approaching, and the Lord is even now preparing the way for the work He will do this summer. A good old evangelical language there. I'm not quite sure what that means. I don't know if the check cleared or, volunteers volunteered. But anyways, according to Todd Sanders, Falls Creek Program Director, this summer students will explore James 4 and be challenged to level up in their faith through spiritual disciplines by looking at the attitudes and postures that drive them. Sacrifice, submission, selflessness, and surrender are vital. Look at the, what's the word, anachronistic? Whenever you use words that all start with the same syllable, sounding super. These are vital to a believer's thriving life in Christ, but are often not easy to live out. The aim of the summer is to help turn theory into practice when it comes to following the Lord. All right, so focusing on James chapter 4, obviously we're already, not off to a great start. The book of James is so easily one of the most well-defended cases of here is a book in the New Testament not written to you. It's written to Israel. Starts out James 1:1, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. It talks about the law, being judged according to the law. There are some smart people in this world who, alliteration, thank you, Jay. There are some smart people in this world who are just still willing to accept the standard evangelical answers, and they just can't come to grips that James is not written to us. It's a tough one because a lot of people like James. James has a lot of great things to say, and you would do well to read the book of James, and you know what? James talked about controlling the tongue. I should work on controlling my tongue too. You know, the Word of God, it is like a mirror. It shows us what we look like and what we should do different. And there's a lot of good wisdom in James. Sure, I can find good wisdom back in the Old Testament, not sacrificing your kids to Molech. That's a great idea. But at the same time, there's a difference between, truth for all time and also, hey, this is not written to you directly for your direct application. But unfortunately, some people really struggle with the idea of disconnecting James from our dispensation. And so the truth is, if they accepted that James was not written to us, they would have to become right dividers. And that's just a pill they can't get themselves to swallow. So they're gonna run with James 4. Let's see here. Let's just look at James 4 a little bit, see what all it has to say. So regardless of everything that you read prior to James, from whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lusts that war in your members? Ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lusts. Ye adulterers and adulteresses. Well, using some hard language there. Of course, I don't know what the language, the NIV, ESV, whatever they're going to use. Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. Do ye think that the Scripture saith in vain, the Spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy? But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. So submit yourselves to God, the devil will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners. Purify your hearts, ye double-minded. They're gonna have some crying, all right. I understand. If I was a typical evangelical, I would be using James. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, your joy to heaviness. Some of you came to Falls Creek with smiles on your face and you're living in sin. And you don't have what you should have. You don't have a strong walk with God. You don't have a good relationship with the Lord Jesus. And you're here smiling in the tabernacle. That's what they call it. Let your cheers, let your smiling be turned to sorrow. You should come forward weeping and bewailing over your sin. That'll get them. They're going to have a lot of kids come forward. And then all the churches will be able to say, oh, wow, we had, 10 kids saved at Falls Creek. So yeah, I get why they're using James 4. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord. He shall lift you up. Speak not evil one of another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother judgeth his brother. Speaketh evil of the law, and judgeth the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. Reference to the law there. I wonder how they're going to handle that, if they're even going to preach on it. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, they're going to take a lot of things, which there's some wisdom in this. Resist the devil. Draw nigh to God. There's some things that we can take from it here, but there's going to be a lot of promises probably made out of this chapter that I don't think that we can just guarantee to have today. Ye have not because ye ask not. You got to ask for God. You got to ask from God what you need, and you got to ask for the right things, and God will give them to you. Probably going to lean a little bit into total depravity doctrine here in verse 5. The spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy. So some subtle, probably Calvinist messaging in there. So yeah, I get why they're using James 4. If I was going to try to, there's a few good passages to guarantee to get youth kids to come forward at a Falls Creek camp. It is Matthew 7, wolf in sheep's clothing. Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and all those things. And then, James 4 is another good one. Yeah, you'll get the tears to flowing. You will scare the you-know-what out of some kids. How about that? Let's see here. Let's look at the rest of this article. Evening worship services are instrumental each week. Oh, I'm sure they are. You got to have the lights turned down low and the dramatic music. The spiritual results happen only because God moves, but He works through faithful leaders who preach and lead worship each night. Yes, that is absolutely the Holy Spirit moving. When the lights turn down low and the emotional music start to play and the people are pleading and singing and everybody's raising hands and shouting, that's how you know that God is moving. That's how you know. May I suggest a little video I did a while back called,
The truth is...
Let's see here. I know I started to play an ad there for you. Something like this. Churches are manipulating you. Maybe they should check that one out. That way people are not deceived. Yeah. So, it's the preaching, it's the singing, God is going to move, lives are going to be transformed, and kids are going to be, they're going to be gauging their salvation by, how did you feel that night? Well, I felt like I had to come forward. I felt like I needed to walk the aisle, and I needed to ask Jesus into my heart. Okay, well, what do you believe about the gospel? Well, yeah, I believe that Jesus is God's Son. I believe He died again, but they're always going to go back to the experience. They're going to go back to the experience. That's the metric. Sanders added, Falls Creek Youth Camp provides a place for students to hear the gospel, come to faith, grow in Christ's likeness, connect with the body of Christ, and be challenged and equipped to live on mission. The Falls Creek does serve as a, I'm trying to think of how to put it. Like they get people who love Falls Creek for all the right reasons, right? They love the Lord, they love the experience, they don't have bad motives, okay? They don't love Falls Creek because, hey, I get to go and get away from home for a week and get to try to meet pretty girls from the other towns and whatnot. It's, yeah, I love the Lord, and I like being there to serve God and worship God. Even though they're misguided, they're not doing it maliciously. But that whole, equipped to live on mission, I mean, Falls Creek is going to recruit a lot of people. It just bothers me because there's a lot of, I feel like singleness is promoted a lot in modern evangelicalism. Like the gift of singleness. They'll talk about that a lot. The gift of singleness. And I know at least, I don't know. I know 3 for sure, maybe more than that. Young women young women, they're in their late 20s, getting to be in their early 30s, and they've never married because they're on mission. I'm not saying that you have to get married, but when you are being told, like, you may have the gift of singleness, you may have the gift of singleness. Young people are impressionable. Young people are impressionable. So there's a lot there that I could talk about. All right, let's see here. During the week 1 opening session, Garrett Wagner, a Texas evangelist, will preach at Falls Creek Youth Camp for the first time and will team up with a familiar face, Cody Dunbar, in worship from Yukon. Together we, newcomers to Falls Creek Youth Camp, in worship from Yukon, together we, okay, so that's the band. Newcomers to Falls Creek Youth Camp, Jay Sanders from the University of South Florida Baptist Collegiate Ministry and Ryan Snell from Ophelia, Alabama, first anchor the evening worship services for week 2. So let's see here, Garrett Wagner. Let's see if we can figure out much about Garrett Wagner. I guess this is him. Okay. So, yeah, this has gotta be him. Instantly, just gonna say, may not be cool, but not a fan. I don't like the unless it's a sports coat, I don't know why we're wearing jackets indoors, okay? I don't know why. Why can't we just dress like normal men doing work? Okay? I don't know why we got to try to dress cool. I don't understand it. That makes sense to me. Here's another one of him preaching, I guess. He's got a very cool t-shirt, I guess. It's very nice. I'm sure he's probably a nice guy. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if I can figure out his doctrine. Is he a Calvinist? Very likely. Most of them usually are. Falls Creek doesn't typically make a habit of having non-Calvinists come. Let's see. Garrett has been seeking to impact the next generation with the gospel for 18 plus years by traveling worldwide to share the gospel at key outreach events at GWM. Garrett Wagner Ministries, he stole my thing that I stole from Dr. White, and he may have gotten it from somebody else. I don't know. We believe in the power of the gospel that is the only message that can change the world in entire generations. Garrett has been a lead pastor, the denominational leader in student evangelism, and youth pastor, and served on staff at several churches, and now as a lead evangelist, president, and founder at GWM, Garrett Wagner Ministries. We would love to partner with you at your next camp, conference, retreat, Sunday service, outreach event, or training. He's married to Rachel with 3 sons. Well, that's very good. They live in Dallas. So first of all, I don't know anything about his doctrine, which Granted, maybe you would say the same about mine, but all you got to do is just look at like some of my sermons and you'll see the word dispensational pretty quickly. I guess I do need to try to like have a what I believe thing on my website. Because like, I don't know, if you go to markbazeministries.org and you go to like about, there's a few key things here. I mean, if you read these things right here, I would say this is my website. Taking the Bible literally, historically, grammatically, and contextually. We take the Bible for what it says without allegorical reinterpretation. So, I mean, you can tell there, like, I mean, I'm very openly all of a sudden. I talk about why is baptism required in Acts 2, but not today. I mean, if you just read this, you can understand, hey, this guy is like clearly a dispensationalist. And then I emphasize Ephesians 2:15. Context is key. So, I mean, I would say, you know, at least you're getting more, and maybe I could do better about it. But I feel like if you just clicked on my videos, like you would see really quick, like, oh, he's a dispensationalist. Oh, he's a right divider. Like, it's pretty hard to miss what my doctrine is, like my theology. Like here's some of his videos, getting over worry and anxiety. That's good. Faith over feelings. There's his sweater thing that he's wearing. Like, I just don't know. Like, I mean, I would get too hot up there, like moving around, preaching, like wearing a sweater. Like, I don't know how cold they keep it in there, but like, I mean, these things like have like no like real insulation in them, you know? Like they're dress jackets, sport coats. And even then, sometimes these, like I'm like a little hot and sometimes I'm getting fired up and I'm yelling about Calvinist or even whatever. Like I'll even get a little bit warm. Like I don't know. I guess they can do it sometimes though. I don't know anything about his stuff here. I can't tell. I mean, and here's the thing, like, I mean, how are you going to hire him if you don't know really anything about him? I don't know. If you want some more information, I mean, I don't know, he's got a store. Oh, sweet, he's got a Faith Over Feelings. He got stickers, hats. Very nice. I need a store. That's what I need to do. I've sold t-shirts like one time to pay for pizza. We'll get there. All right. Jay mentions then the little round table. Yeah, I know. That is amusing to me. The evangelicals got to have, they can't have a pulpit. They've got to have a round table. They've got to have a round table to set their Bible on. You know, you read it, you set your Bible on the round table, and then you walk around for a little while. I don't know. I've heard somebody say, I can't remember if it was one of y'all. I don't know. I don't want to credit it to like Myra if it wasn't Myra. I don't know if Myra's on with me today or not. But somebody was like, I wonder if they don't use a pulpit on purpose, like it's a guilt thing. I don't know. It's almost like false modesty to a degree. It's like, oh, we're not going to use the big pulpit. Like we're not self-righteous, you know, like I'm so humble. It's kind of, I mean, I hate to bring in Pope Francis, but you know, Pope Francis was like, I'm not going to live in I don't know, whatever. I'm going to live in a little house off to the side. I'm not going to wear the traditional papal garbs. Like, there's a lot of that you think, oh, wow, he's so humble. But is it really? He's kind of, I don't know, singling yourself out, right? Being different from everybody else just to be different. All right, let's see here. So that's him. What do we know about him? Not much. Let's see if we can figure out any more about these other people. So Garrett Wagner. And who is next? Newcomers to Falls Creek, Jay Sanders. Jay Sanders from University of South Florida Baptist Collegiate Ministry. And Ryan Snell. I don't know if we can find Jay Sanders online. Jay Sanders, pastor? I don't know. Oh, wow. I mean, here's Florida Baptist Convention. I guess he's a big deal. Yeah, here he is on floridabaptist.org. Sanders tapped as Tampa's BCM director. So there you go. I mean, the BCM director stuff is a very prestigious position. Honestly, like to a degree, I mean, like it's almost a bigger deal than being a pastor of a church in the SBC. It really kind of is. So Jay Sanders of Tampa will assume the position of Baptist Campus Ministry Director. He was 32 as of 2020, so he's a little bit older guy now. 37. He's at USF. Oh, and also he's over Hillsborough, St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Edison State College. So wow, it's a lot. It's a lot to cover there. I have no idea much about him. Can't really tell. He's a graduate of which seminary again? Florida I think it was a Florida Baptist seminary. University of South Florida? No, that's where he's gonna, I don't know. Anyways. So, no idea about him. It's hard to tell. Probably Calvinist. I mean, that's just because, like I said, Calvinism has completely taken over the SBC at this point. So I have no idea necessarily. Jay Sanders, Word of Life Youth Ministries, like, is this him? Like I said, for the most part, you can just kind of assume that whoever the guest speaker at Falls Creek is going to be Calvinist to a large degree. I'm trying to find if I can, about us, about Word of Life. Is this him? I don't know. This is this website's pretty vague there, so it's kind of hard to tell. So I don't know. No idea. Moving on, looking at the rest of the article here so we can learn some more about this interesting time that's going to be going down at Falls Creek. Let's see. Sanders will return to lead week 3 along with Joe McKean and So We May from Owasso First, so some bands in Oklahoma. Gary McNeil and Dustin Sorrells from Durant First are set to preach and lead worship for week 4. So that's Durant First Baptist, Gary McNeil. Yeah, I'm almost certain. Yeah, that is the... So Gary McNeil, Pastor Gary as he's often called, ready? Are you ready for some exclusive? Durant First Baptist, okay, First Baptist Durant, which is 3.5 miles that way probably. I don't know. I'm just trying to guess roughly. Maybe a little bit further than that. I'm talking about as the crow flies, not on the road. First Baptist Durant is not an openly Calvinist church. The congregation is largely not Calvinist. But the leaders are, at least a number of the leaders are, and Gary, the pastor there, is Calvinist. He is not open about it because he's going to slowly turn the church Calvinist because that's what Calvinists do. I've kind of sat on this knowledge for a little while, and I've been, for some reason, apprehensive to talk about it because here's the thing. I'm technically in the association, and so I've been to meetings where Gary McNeil is, and so I've almost been reluctant because I don't want to open up a can of worms, for myself and for my church. But I'm getting to the point where I don't care. And I'm also at the point where I think my church has my back, okay? So I'm going to be unapologetic about it. I don't know about Jay Sanders. I don't know about Garrett, whatever his name was. But Gary McNeil, who will be preaching at Falls Creek, is a Calvinist, okay? So there you go, all right? Plain and simple. Confirmed, at least one Calvinist, probably all three of them Calvinists preaching at Falls Creek, all right? So that's interesting. There you go. There's an exclusive insider because I know the guy personally, and I am just, if there's a bridge, give me gasoline, I guess, because I'm just going to burn it. Oh, goodness. All right, let's see here. What else do I got here? I accidentally clicked off of the link. Let me go back to it really quickly. Here we go. So this is something new to programming in the past couple of years, featuring a ministry team from an Oklahoma Baptist church leading together. They're on the rise for sure. First Baptist Durant has big ambitions. We'll see. Even though some of their members have come over to my church. Rusty Gunn. I know Rusty Gunn. I've met him before too, and he's a. I don't know as far as entirely if he's just a complete, full-blown, opened Calvinist, but he's definitely, we worked out at the same gym together. This is amazing how I'm just knowing all these people. So that is his name, by the way, Rusty Gunn. That's not a nickname. That's his actual name, Rusty Gunn, right there. We worked out at the same gym. He's an older gentleman, older than me. We debated on the KJV, I'll put it that much. And obviously you can tell I was the defender of the matter. And I think he tried to defend the ESV, which is, I would hate to be in the position of trying to defend the ESV. But anyways, Rusty Gunn, definitely not a, fundamental guy by any means, evangelical. Burn more bridges. And then let's see here. Jeremy Freeman, pastor at Newcastle. I'm basically just going to probably say that's almost a guaranteed. I mean, Oklahoma City is just, you can't throw a rock and not hit a Calvinist in Oklahoma City. I do agree. Rusty Gunn is his name. It's an amazing name, and I'm jealous, and I wish that I was named. I wish I was named Rusty Gunn, but I would rather be a right divider and named Mark Baze than be an evangelical, probably Calvinist, named Rusty Gunn, okay? So there's that. I did not realize that this was just going to become such a, just getting super I don't know, blunt here. I didn't realize I was going to know all these people either. I mean, I only read the headline of the article and read a couple lines and thought, yeah, this is what I want to cover. And now I'm just outright, I'm in the weeds now. Not that a lot of people are going to see this probably, but some might. It is an awesome name. And here's the thing. I'm not attacking these men as personally, okay? In no way. I am calling, it is what it is. I mean, they're evangelicals or Calvinists. Let's see here, moving on a little bit more. So Jeremy Freeman, pastor at Newcastle. I mean, I probably bet lean Calvinist. Week 7 welcomes back Shane Pruitt. Shane Pruitt's pretty well known. I've actually heard him preach before. Shane Pruitt, it's one of those things, and this is true for some others as well. They are conservative, they're not, Shane Pruitt's not a crazy lib. He's openly against transgenderism and abortion, same-sex marriage. He's traditional in that way. But Shane Pruitt, I mean, he's one of those that's probably not just an outright flaming Calvinist, but he's gonna be more in their camp. And so At least I will say he dresses like he still likes to do like the casual dress thing, which is super annoying. There's him. First of all, if your t-shirt's sticking out underneath your hoodie, like he's wearing a t-shirt, a hoodie, and a jacket. Like, I don't understand. How do you do that? How do you wear a t-shirt, a hoodie, and a jacket when you're preaching? Like, that would just be terrible. Terrible. So, anyways. I mean, he's been a big part of NAM, not Vietnam, but North American Mission Board. He's going to toe the line very faithfully for them. Andy Blanks with Iron Hill Press will join Nate Jernigan. Why do I know that name? And Crescent City Worship from New Orleans Seminary to round out the summer. So, I mean, this is mostly going to be, they're not going to be super just like in your face Calvinists, but all the same, they will. They're all going to be Calvinists though. Let's see here. Cross Timbers Children's Mission Adventure Camp will be focusing on God the Father, the creator of the universe. This year's theme, Have You Heard, is based on Isaiah 40:28. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. Honestly, Cross Timbers is going to do less damage probably than Falls Creek, because they do keep it generally more basic, because Cross Timbers is for the younger kids. So they probably won't mess up as bad as what Falls Creek is going to. So there's the state of things with good old Falls Creek. It's gonna be bad. Sorry. I know that you were really hoping, you had high hopes that maybe Falls Creek would turn a 180 and it would be good. It's not. It's gonna be bad. Again, manipulation, bad exegesis, eisegesis. So I don't know what else you expect. I mean, SBC's fallen, Falls Creek's fallen, and from the ashes. All right, we're gonna start fighting the second battle. Right. My mom knows people too. That's Caleb Freeman's dad. I have heard him speak. I do not know if he is Calvinist, but he's definitely evangelical. Yeah, I don't know. And once again, like I've said, let me preface this with anybody who, none of you care who are watching the live show probably, but people who may find it later. I'm not saying these are bad men. A lot of them are great fathers and are faithful to their wives, faithful to their churches. I'm just saying I disagree with them on teaching the Bible. And they are Calvinists, and a lot of them are not open about it. Like the pastor of Durant, First Baptist Durant. First Baptist Durant folks, if you're watching, which maybe a couple of them will tune in occasionally, but they're already going to my church now, so it doesn't make a difference. Your pastor's Calvinist, all right? And if you don't do something about it, they're going to get an elder board in there, and the elders will run the show, and you'll have no control then, and it'll be too late for you. Okay? Let me look at some of your comments today. We got Paul on today. Great to have you. Mary Terry, always enjoy saying your name. Stacy, great to have you on with us. Luke, good to have you. Sydney, Ken with us from La Place, or is that like La Place? Because it's Louisiana. Sherry Fuller, hey Sherry. Toby's on with us, mom of course. Robert, Jay, enjoyed your input today. Toby says, I'm not far from Falls Creek, but you probably won't see me there. Yeah, you're not far from Falls Creek, but you know what that means, Toby? You're also not far from me. When are you going to come by and see me sometime? Always going to pick on you if you don't come visit once in a while. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, so apparently there's a new Matlock, and it's Matlock's daughter or whatever. Okay, there you go. I guess she never got married because her last name's still Matlock. Or did she marry another guy who has the same last name as her? It's modern times. She probably couldn't get married. We can't have women getting married. That's just oppression to the poor women out there in the world. Jay says, a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. That's very true. Jay probably talking about the Garrett guy from Texas. That sound says, I bet he sure uses a lot of feelings when he's in front of kids. Oh, there'll be a lot of feelings. A lot. A lot. I'm not sure which one you're talking about there, but that name's that sounds name it and claim it-ish. Well, a lot of it's name it. Calvinism is name it and claim it-ish as well. It just claims other stuff. Toby says, claim your favorite NIV verse, LOL. That's funny. That is funny. Toby says, Joel Osteen, these people are making Joel Osteen look legit. At least he wears a suit. Yeah, hey. Say what you want to about the old Osteen. At least he dresses like he's serious. Ken says, geez, Toby, go visit Mark. Now, Ken, you better be careful now. Because you were only briefly at the Bible conference, okay? You only did a little bit more than what Toby did. So, I'm throwing haymakers all day, all right? I'm catching everybody. I'm catching Southern Baptist preachers and people who watch the show. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed me officially burning every bridge I ever had in Southeast Oklahoma, okay? I named names, I spilled beans, said all the things, but you know what? I don't care. It's going to be honest, all right? Unapologetically honest. I'm the right dividing bad boy. I'm here to chew bubble gum and clock Calvinists and evangelicals, and I'm all out of bubble gum, all right? So that's what we did today. I hope you're happy. Now, if you want me to be happy, I need your theology questions. I've got some, but I only had like 2 questions last Thursday, and my show went 40 minutes long, okay? If you want a full hour of Theology Thursday, you got to give me questions, okay? I ain't been doing this for 50 years like Dr. White has, okay? My question docket, the number of people that submit me questions is much less. When I've been around for that long, I'll be able to have a lot more questions. Also, I'll probably, the only bad thing is I don't have the insight that Dr. White has because he knew half of the biblical people, you know? I mean, I'm pretty sure that like one reason why he has such good insight into how to handle the book of Ephesians is because he was there. He remembers when Paul brought the letter, or the letter from Paul was delivered and everything. I mean, goodness. So go ask Dr. White on his show today, Ask the Theologian, what it was like to be able to read the original copy. You know, that he's got that Hebrew manuscript framed in the back. You know, that's the original, okay? Like, that's an original signed copy from Isaiah. So go ask him about it. All right. I better stop. I've got to do this. You know what I've got to do? I've got to go prep because tonight we're going to be going live with the study on Abraham. I'm going to fix and make sure the live stream goes through nice and clear for you. Hopefully all that goes well. I had a setting that I can get away with sometimes. I didn't entirely get away with it last week. This week I'm going to have it all fixed for you so it all should go well. Keyword should go well. And so in the meantime, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you all so much. You have been very good to help me as well as working on getting a new camera for the Wednesday night and Sunday school class. And so that'll be coming very, very soon. So thank you all so much. In the meantime, this has been Shields and Arrows, where we defend the faith, the family, and the fellowship, and we are fearlessly defending the faith, the family, the fellowship. I started to do an alliteration and I didn't know where to go with it, all right? But you know what you need to do now? You need to wait 30 minutes and go hop on to Ask the Theologian, and then we'll see you tonight for Abraham. Thank you.